Hi, this is my Symbaloo. Symbaloo is a free platform that allows users to organize and categorize web links. It works like a browser and it can be configured as a homepage. For example, if you configure Symbaloo as a homepage, whenever you open your navigator, it's going to appear um, as the first page that you opened. And I organize my Symbaloo in the next way. For example, here are the pages and the apps that I use the most and to communicate to my family and friends or to do homework. And in this one, I put the ones that I use to create activities or to do activities for my classes or for teach. The Symbaloo gives you the option to make lesson plans because it gives you another platforms to do that. And when you want to add another page, you just have to click in a block, and then it gives you two options that it's create a block or look for a block. Um, the one you just have to put the link in here, and it's going to look for the page that you want. And the second one that it's look for a block, you just have to put the name of the block in this part and it's going to give you like a lot of options and then you select the one that you were looking for. Listen a Minute is a platform in which you can listen to audios and do some activities that the page gives to you. It has a lot of activities and it is organized alphabetically, so it's easier to use and it gives you a lot of topics to select. For example, I made two activities. The one talked about love, listen about love, and the skills that developed were listening, reading, and writing. And the second one uh, was listening, reading, and writing too. But the second one was about music. Um, and it also gives you the option to improve grammar. So you just have to look for the activities that gives that option to do. What was your favorite section of the page? Do you think it could be attracting to students? Why not? My favorite section in the page is the one in which you have to select the audio because the page brings you a lot of options and I think that it's very attractive because it has a lot of topics that could be really interesting to them. What other skills are used besides writing? Provide examples. Listening and reading, because while you are listening the audio, the page also had the text and it's basically the same as in the audio, so you can listen and read at the same time in order to have a better understanding. How would you use this page in a flipped classroom modality? Explain. Students can do this activity at home and at any time, in teams or individually, and they can practice their listening, writing, and reading. And another of my favorite pages to use is Padlet. It's kind of like a blog, and you can create uh, a wall, maybe. Um, For example, you can join a Padlet. You have to have the link of the Padlet that you want to join. If another person create a Padlet, you can ask for the link and then join the Padlet or create your own one. For example, this is one that I create for my homework that I was um, giving my opinion about nomads and it's easy to use because you just have to publish something. You just have to click here and it gives you the options and it gives you the option to upload something, attach something, look for something, or to take a picture. Another one is Piktochart. Piktochart is a platform in which you can do infographics, presentation, posters, informs, and flyers. For example, this is a poster that I made for another homework, and it gives you like different themes to use. And for example, this one is like really colorful, what makes my homework like more attractive. My lesson plan is the next one. The level is basic size, class size, 3 students, activity name, introducing yourself. This activity is an easy and entertaining way to teach vocabulary about how to introduce themselves so they can start a little conversation and interact with their classmates with intentions to know each other better. And so this help to have a better behavior. Also, this activity is a good way to improve writing, speaking, and pronunciation because they have to write the presentation before saying it to all the class, and then at the end of the class, I'm going to create a Padlet and then I'm going to ask them to transcribe the text previously made in class on the Padlet, adding their favorite hobbies. The steps are the next ones. The first one is on a PowerPoint presentation, I'm going to give them vocabulary and sentences to help them to introduce themselves. The second one is I'm going to ask students to make a text introducing themselves. The third one is students have to say to their classmates the text that they made. Step fourth, I'm going to create a Padlet and I'm going to explain to students how to write on it and how to create an account. And step five, finally, students have to transcribe their text, adding their hobbies on the Padlet that I have created. This course helped me a lot to see that technology is very important to teach English because it gives you like a lot of tools to work with, and this can make things like better and less bored for the students because sometimes students are not interested in learn English because they think that it's bored. And I also learned how to make a digital competence. Um, I learned what is a Web 1 period 0, Web 2 period 0, and a Web 3 period 0. Um, uh, I learned about the modalidades educativas that there are semi-escolarizada, escolarizada, y a distancia, and the function are like really different. Um, I learned about digital identity. I didn't know that there was like an identity to each person that use technology. And for example, another thing that I learned was um, the e-learning and how does the flipped classroom um, it works. Um, I also learned how to um, match the technology with a class, the community of inquiry model, and mocks. Mocks is something that is really interesting because you can mocks are courses that you can join, um, and there are like a lot. You can get a diploma and things like that, but you have to pay. But um, anyway, you can learn and you don't have to finish the course, so that's really great because you only learn what you want to learn and you don't have to do all the course because some courses are like really bored and you don't have to do that. You just can do the parts that you really liked and that's it. So it's like really, really, really interesting. I really like the mock that I did. The ones that I did, it was about pronunciation and um, it was really interesting because my mates were from a different parts of the world. Ones were from Egypt, another from Colombia, and all that. So I really like this course because I learned a lot of things that it could help me to do uh, in a future to help. It's going to help me in a future to integrate technology in my classes and make things like interesting, and that's it. Thank you.